Team New Camp Monday message. And yes, I do realize I missed last Monday. You want to know when I realized it? Monday was a long day, board day, budget day, whole 9 yards. I laid my head down, get ready to go to sleep Monday night, open one eye and go, oh my goodness, I forgot the Monday message. Knew you didn't want one at that time of night and not sure the message would have been good. So we just pushed to this week, 1 week before spring break. I don't have to tell you that. Does not feel like spring out there right now, but we are moving towards spring break. I mentioned budget. We are working very hard on our budget. The school board did approve the superintendent's recommended budget. However, we have been faced with some additional cuts that we learned about from the county just last week. So we're working on cutting about $200,000 from that budget. We will present that April 12th. So looking at those options, really there are three main focus areas in our budget. Number one is compensation, really focusing hard on compensation and doing more in certain areas. The second area is healthcare increases, so budgeting for those increases. And the third is additional positions to the classroom, additional positions in the school. So those are the three primary focus areas and the bulk of the new ask. So we'll be working on balancing our budget again. We are hopeful for additional state revenues and maybe that can offset some of that. But stay tuned, more information coming your way. As we move towards spring break, I'm reflecting on the first 3 quarters of this year and looking at the fourth quarter and how do we finish strong? How do I finish strong? Came across this article and it had 6 different questions to ask yourself. The first, as a leader, as a person. So number one, how are your communication skills? That's an area that I think I can do better with. I do give you a Monday message. We've come out with a board brief, but I want to find a way to have more conversations with you outside of this one-way piece. The second is, how are your growth mindset skills? Like, what are you learning and what are you developing and how are you getting better? So instead of saying staying stagnant. The third question is, how are your emotional intelligence skills? Trivia question. My original dissertation idea was around emotional intelligence because it's really understanding other people's thoughts and feelings. When you're doing a budget or when you're building something or you're working through a complex problem, really keeping in mind how it impacts other people. That's an area that we can work on. How are your influence building skills, not schools, but working through your influence. You can't lead if no one is following you, and that resonates with me daily. You build influence by adding value. So how are we adding value? Number 5 is, how are your appreciation skills? I do appreciate it. So I'm thankful for how we've rallied together this year. But how do you show it? I'm trying to show it through the budget, trying to show it through the work that we're doing. But also other ways. So always looking at other ways to show appreciation because I'm amazed and inspired by the work you do and we continue to do. And then the last one is, how are your humility skills? Ineffective leaders often get in the habit of assuming they know it all. Monday message, I don't know it all. And there's sometimes that I make mistakes. So owning that and being humble and then kind of working to do the next right thing. So those are 6 questions that I have working in my head and that I'll take into spring break with me. No Monday message next week. More updates on the budget to come. More effort on these 6 questions. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you have a fantastic spring break. And then we get back for 9 weeks finishing strong. Have a great week.